السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, today we are continuing from lesson number 50, as you can see. And in this particular lesson, we are going to be looking at Hadithatun. That is the title for this particular lesson, Hadithatun. When we say Hadithatun, of course, we all know Hadithatun is what? An accident, right? An accident, that is Hadithatun. So let's look at the lesson. The lesson is, of course, is going to be talking about an accident, a very interesting lesson, actually. So let's just begin. He began by saying that Zarana Marratan Doifun Kerimun. A noble guest, Doifun, we know a guest, a noble guest visited us once visited us. A noble guest once visited us. Zarana Marratan. Wabata indana laylatan. And he spent the night with us. Of course, bata, we all know bata yabitu is to spend the night. Okay, so bata, as I said, is to what? Is to spend the night. So he spent the night with us. Indana laylatan. The laylatan here signified that it was just one night. Okay, of course, bata already comes with the meaning of being in the night. Repeating this layl here is to signify that it was just one night that he spent the night with us. I hope that is clear. Then what happens? Let's see. He says that وَفِي الصَّبَاحِ, and in the morning, قُلْتُ لَهُ, I said to him, أَتَسْتَحِمُّ يَا سَيِّدِي, أَتَسْتَحِمُّ يَا سَيِّدِي, are you bathing? Istahamma yastahimu, it means to bath. So atastahimu ya sayyidi, are you bathing, oh master? You know, in English, when we say are you going, it doesn't mean he's going. It means that you are asking him, will you go? Are you going? Sometimes we say that, but to mean will you go? So that's the same thing here. Are you bathing? Meaning, will you bath? That's what he asked him. وَكَانَ يَوْمُ جُمْعَةٍ, and it was a يوم الجمعة, a Friday. Qala, he said, Naam, yes. Qultu, and I said, Haza muqtathalun. Haza muqtasalun. Muqtasalun, bimana, the place where they bath. Al-makan yaqtasiluna fihi nas, the place where the people bath. That's the muqtasal. So he pointed to him, this is the bathroom. He said, Qala, he said, Bal astahimu fi nahar. Rather, I will bath in the river. So he's telling him that he will take the bath in the river. He doesn't want to bath in the bathroom. He will just go to the river and bath. So let's see what happens. وَكَانَ الشَّيْخُ يَعْرِفُ السِّبَاحَةَ, and the sheikh, he knew sibaha, swimming. إِلَّا أَنَّهُ لَمْ يَتَّفِقْ لَهُ أَنْ يَسْبَحَ مِنْ مُدَّةٍ طُوِيلَةٍ. Except that, أَنَّهُ لَمْ يَتَّفِقْ لَهُ, meaning that he didn't had the opportunity to swim. And yasbaha, the verb here is ittafaqa. When we say ittafaqa actually means to agree upon. Okay, to agree. Ittafaqa yattafiqu, like we have muttafaqun alayhi, like everybody endorses it. So that's ittafaqa. Ittafaq. But here, when it comes with the preposition lam, with ittafaqa li, it means to get the opportunity to do something. So if I say lam yattafiq li an af'ala kaza wa kaza, meaning I didn't get the opportunity to do so and so. I hope that is clear. So ittafaqa li, with the lam, when it comes with lam, it means to get the opportunity to do something. So we say that illa annahu lam yattafiq lahu an yasbaha, except that he didn't get the opportunity to swim min muddatin tuwila, for a long time. So he knew how to swim, but for a long time he didn't get the opportunity to swim. Wasami'tu anna al-insana, and I heard that the human being la yansa sibahata, he does not forget swimming, iza ta'allamaha, when he learns it. So if the human being learns how to swim, he doesn't forget it. إِلَّا أَنَّهُ يَتْعَبُ سَرِيعًا, except that he gets tired quickly. So he doesn't forget. If you learn how to swim, you doesn't forget it. But if you don't swim for a long time, the very time you are about to swim, okay, after a long period of time, you easily get tired. So that's what he's saying. Now, وَكَانَ النَّهْرُ ثَائِضًا, and the river was the one which was overflowing. The verb here is fado. Fado, yafid. And from it we get faid. Okay, faid. And when we say fa'idun, that's the ism fa'il. The doer, the thing that overflows, is termed as fa'id. I hope that is clear. So the river was the one which was overflowing. I hope that is clear. As I said, the verb is fado yafidu. So like, when you take a cup and then you are pouring water in it, you are pouring water, you are pouring water, you are pouring water, then it gets to the brim, to the apex, then the cup is full. What happened? The water begin to overflow. So see what? Fadul ma, the water, is overflowing. So, like Allah says, on the day of judgment, not on after judgment, like people have entered Jannah and the hellfire. The people in hellfire, they are going to be crying out to the people in Jannah, and afidu alayna min al-ma. They are going to be crying to them. Just pour excess water. As I said, it comes to mean the thing is in excess, then it is overflowing. Yes, if you have excess water, just give us a little bit of water. So the people of hellfire are going to be crying out. Like Allah says in Surah Al-Araf, may Allah enter us into Jannah and protect us against the hellfire. So that is fa'id. It was the one which was overflowing. وَكَانَ يَجْرِي بِقُوَّةٍ, and it was flowing. The man, it was running with strength. بِقُوَّةٍ, with strength. فَهَذَا الشَّيْخُ النَّهَرُ. So the water it was the one which was overflowing, and it was running with strength, moving with strength. And this sheikh, he enters into the river. هَذَا النَّهَرُ. When we say هَذَا, it means to enter. I hope that is clear. Hado means to enter. Okay. From it we get Hawdun. Okay. Hawdun means amusement, like unnecessary amusement. You just enter into unnecessary things, like unnecessary speech, unnecessary play, and all these are Hawd. So you see it in the Quran. Alladhina hum fi Hawdin yal'abun. Okay. It also comes to mean, especially in this particular ayah, in Surah Atur, like Allah says, Alladhina hum fi khawdin yal'abun. When someone is entering into a river, hado, as I said, is to enter. But when someone, if you are walking on the earth, your every step you are taking, whether it is dangerous or not dangerous. If I'm walking on the land, if I see a hole or a pit, I easily know this is a pit. If I see a dangerous thing, I know this is a dangerous thing. But if you are entering into water, have you ever entered into a river or a sea? Okay, if you are entering, what do you do? Have you seen someone entering into a river? The person is very careful, because you may step on a predator, or an animal, or you may step on a pit. You may step in something that is a very hollow, a hole or something, and it can drown. You can get drowned. So when you are entering into a river, you take your time, you take step by step. Have you seen that kind of? We call it khawd. Khawd. I hope that is khawd. So you are engaging in a risky thing, that is khawd. So Allah says, Alladhina hum fi khawdin yal'abun. Allah is depicting this life. This life is a very serious, matter. But those who take the Quran for granted, those who take the religion Islam for granted, like Allah is addressing this, is addressing, of course, the kuffar, those who were against the Prophet. So Allah is describing them. They don't even realize the kind of risky thing they are doing, and they are playing. They are in amusement. So that is khawd. But the main verb is khado, to enter, as I said. So khado shaykhun nahr. The sheikh entered the river. Wabada'a yasbahu, and he started swimming. Fama labisa an kallat abuduhu. We have already seen that if you don't know how to, if you don't swim for a long time, and you begin to swim, what happens? You easily get tired, yet abusari, and like they have said. So, fama labisa, this is an expression. When we say Fama Alabisa, it means he didn't take time. Okay, like let's say Fama Alabisa Anjaa Pejil Thamin. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. It didn't take long time. Then he brought the calf, the meat to the guest, the angels. So labis fama labisa, meaning it didn't take time. So it didn't take time. And kallat aduduhu, his arm, okay, it got stressed out. Kella, the verb here is kella. Kella means so something to wear out. I hope that is clear. But here, of course, it is meaning to get tired. Okay, to get tired. Adud is the arm from the elbow to the shoulder. That's what we term as the adudun. So, and kellat aduduhu, his arms got stressed out, tired. Waharat kuwahu. Waharat kuwahu. Khara is to become weak. Wow, his strength became weak. Bimana, he got weak. Wa'aya, and he became incapable. Okay, unable to do something. So he was now helpless. That's aya. Wadafa'ahu al-ma'u biquwwa. The water pushed him with strength. The water pushed him with strength. That is بقوة. دفعه الماء بقوة. فجعل يجري في تياره. Then he began. The verb here is ja'ala. Ja'ala here, it comes to mean to begin. I've said this a lot of times. Ja'ala, there are some verbs that we call af'al shuru. Okay, ja'ala, bada'a, akhaza, shara'a, tafiqa. All these verbs, they come to mean to begin. Sometimes, it's not always. Sometimes they can come to mean to begin. He began doing something. Okay. We use it to mean to begin. Okay. So, فَجَعَلَ يَجْرِي فِي تَيَّارِهِ. He began يَجْرِي, running or moving in the direction of the water current. Tayyar is the water current. That's what they as the tayyar, the direction in which the water is flowing. That's the tayyar. So فَجَعَلَ يَجْرِي فِي تَيَّارِهِ. He began, moving in the same direction as the water was moving. Meaning the water is now moving him. He doesn't have any control again. So that's why he further said, لَا يَمْلِكُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِ شَيْئًا. بمعنى لَا يَمْلِكُ شَيْئًا مِنْ أَمْرِهِ. He doesn't own anything, or he doesn't have control of anything out from his matter. Meaning in this matter of his, he didn't have any control of anything again. وَأَيْقَنَ بِالشَّرِّ. And he was certain with evil. He was certain that something evil is coming to happen. The verb here is aya. When we say aya, it means to become incapable, to become unable to do something. That's aya. I hope that is clear. So let's see what happens. This is a very big situation, an emergency situation is going to happen. It has already happened. Let's see what is happening. Will the sheikh die? Let's see. فَجَعَلَ يَصْرُخُ وَيَسْتَغِيثُ. Then he began يَصْرُخُ, shouting out. Saraha means to shout out, to scream out. وَيَسْتَغِيثُ, and he was crying out for help. Istagasa yastaghisu. It means to cry out for help. I hope that is clear. It means what? To cry out for help. Okay. Like we have in the Quran, we have the same verb in the Quran. Okay. فَاسْتَغَاثَهُ الَّذِي مِنْ شِيعَتِهِ عَلَى الَّذِي مِنْ عَدُوِّهِ. Musa alayhi salatu wassalam, when he saw the Egyptian and the Israelites, one of the Israelites, together with an Egyptian, they were fighting, they were having a fight. So the Israelite called Musa alayhi salatu wassalam, he called him for help. So Allah says, فَاسْتَغَاثَهُ الَّذِي مِنْ شِيعَتِهِ. That Israelite, he called him for help. So that is istighasa. But istighasa, as I said, it's not just any type of help. There are different ways for help in the, not even in the Quran, but even in Arabic language broad. Okay, at broad. So we have maybe isti'ana, isti'aza, istighasa, all these have help. meaning help, they come for help. But istighatha is to call out for help at the appropriate time. Help that is needed at the appropriate time. That's istighatha in a sense of emergency. Then you just call out for help. That is istighatha. If that help doesn't come, you will be in trouble. That is istighatha. I hope that is clear. Like we have ghais. Ghais is what? Is the rain. So when the crops are dying, crops are dying, we plant, there's no growth of vegetation and all this, then we pray for water, for rain. We call it rice. Okay, we call it rice. So it comes in the right quantity. So help that comes in the right quantity, not above and not below, and at the appropriate time we call it istighatha. That is that kind of help. So وَيَقُولُ, and he was saying, Ya rajulan. So this Ya rajulan, this is strange. When you say rajulan, of course we all know that the munada in Arabic language, the thing you are calling, it should be ma'rifa. So if I say Ya Muhammadu, that's correct. But I can't say Ya Muhammadun, Ya Yasirun. Okay, but of the thing you are calling, it cannot take tanween. It cannot be nakira. So Ya Muhammadu, Ya Yasiru, of course we all know that. Or Ya Abdullah. Okay, Ya Aba Bakrin, we all know that. So then the thing you are called specifically should be ma'rifa. But this kind of usulub is used for something that we call an-nakiratu ghayru maqsuda. Like Ibn Ajurumiyya, we have seen this. Okay, an-nakiratu ghayru maqsuda. It is, you call something without intent. So Ya rajulan, it means when you see something like this, the munada taking tanween, in a mansub case, fathatain, it means that the person is calling out to any person of that kind, any man. When you are in danger, you don't come and say, you know when someone is in danger, you just say help, anyone around. So it's the same thing here. Ya rajulan, it's meaning any man. He's calling out to any man. So we use that uslub in Arabic language to mean that the person is just calling out to any person. Assuming I am sitting here, and then maybe there are students all over this place, and I just need any student. Any student. It's not a specific student. Any student. So I'll simply say Ya Taliban. So if any of them hear this, he'll just come. If you understand Arabic. So you understand that what I'm saying. We use this usulub to mean that you are calling out to any person of that kind. I hope that is clear. So Ya rajulan, any man. I hope that is clear. Either than that, the munada, the thing you are calling in Arabic language, it doesn't take tanween. I hope that is clear. So, but when you see this, we know that it is it is not. There is no maqsud. There is no qasdun. Okay, there is no target. The person is not targeting or intending anything, any person, any specific person. It's just to any person of that kind. So khuz biyadi. So we say Ya rajulan khuz biyadi. Any bimana, is there any man? Hold my hand. Khuz biyadi. Hold my hand. Of course, he's about to drown. So he's calling out for someone to hold his hand and maybe drag him out of the water. Waja'ala yaskuru. And he began mentioning وَيَقُولُ, and saying Allahu, Allahu. Of course, in this dangerous situation, you are the first thing that will come is Allah, right? Like Allah says. Allah mentioned this kind of very funny, Allah is the one who created the human being, and He knows the human being very well. So Allah talk about the human being, how the nature of the human being in the Quran, and it's very, very, very accurate. Very, very accurate. In Surah to Yusuf, Allah talk about this one. When you are in the ocean, and the ocean you are about to drown, the only thing that will remain, that will come to your mind is Allah. Okay. فَلَمَّا نَجَّاهُمْ إِلَى الْبَرِّ. Like in Surah Al-Isra too, Allah mentioned that concept. When Allah rescue us, we now become heedless again. Have you been in a plane? I've been. One time I was in a bus. Okay, I was traveling from one city to another, and I took a bus. And so, unfortunately, we were about to involve in an accident. We didn't, but we were about. It nearly happened. So everybody was screaming. calling on to Allah. Calling on to Allah. So that's the nature of the human being. When you are being immersed in a very big situation, that's the time you remember Allah. But when the situation is gone again, everything becomes normal. Even when they are talking about Allah, some people, they can't withstand it. Why are we not hearing in nasheed? There are some kind of people, they are like that. When they are in a place where Allah is just mentioned, they are just talking about Allah. Some people, they can't withstand it. Why are you just talking about Allah alone? Why are we not hearing in nasheed? We should hear any music or something, like Allah says, Jazak Allahu Khair. So that's what happens. So when he is in this kind of situation, the very first person he will remember, as they are telling us here, Allahu, he's calling on to Allah. كأنه في آخر أحده, as if he is in the end of his period, bidunya, in this world. As he was mentioning this Allah, as if he was at the end of his life in the world. وَجَعَلَ يَغْتِشُ وَيَطْفُو. Subhanallah. جَعَلَ بمعنى he started. يَغْتِشُ. غَطَشَ. The verb here is غَطَسَ, which means to go down. Okay. To sink. Okay. To dive. When something go deep into the water body. I mean, a water body, whether a sea or a river, you see something, it sinks. That is ghatasa. Okay, or it immerses inside. It just disappears. I mean, due to sinking, we call it ghatasa. So he begins going down. He sinks. Wayatfu, and he flows. Tofa, the verb here is tofa. Okay. Tofa yatfu. Okay, tofa yatfu. It means to float. So yaghtishu wa yatfu. He sinks, he go down, and he floats. He appears again, and he goes down. He disappears. He immerses inside. This was what was happening to him. Fasuki tofi aidina. A very nice expression. This is an expression in the Quran. Also, it also comes in the Quran. Like Allah says, I think in Surah Al-A'raf. وَلَمَّا سُكِتَ فِي أَيْدِيهِمْ. That is the people of Musa alayhi salatu wassalam. But it's an expression which comes to mean it comes for two things. Mainly, okay, from what I've mostly seen. Sakata fi aidina. For it comes for regret. Oh, that is clear. Regret and nadam. Okay, and nadama. And then it also comes for ajiz, when you are incapable of something. When you say for suke tofi idina, we were incapable. We couldn't do anything at that again. Example, let me give you sakata is actually for something to fall down. So assuming you are holding something, have you encountered a situation where you are holding something, then it just slip out of your hand and you just say and the thing falls and then breaks. So that is sakata fi yadika. I hope that is clear. So that's similar thing here. Sometimes you are holding something that is very fragile, like an egg or a glass, material. Then out of nowhere it just falls, and then you just leave it. You are just there watching it, then the thing falls down, and then you just regret what you have done. Or at that point where it is falling, you can't do anything. So some people will just raise their hand and then look at the thing, and then it will fall down. So it has sakata fi yadihi. So that expression can be used that to mean that he didn't have any, control again. That situation when the thing is falling and you just raise your hand and look at it to fall down. It doesn't have control. So that's what meaning. Meaning lack of control. I is incapable to do anything again. Then the other meaning is to come to sense, like to regret. Of course, like in that particular context, Surah Al-A'raf. وَلَمَّا سُكِتَ فِي أَيْدِيهِمْ وَرَأَوْا أَنَّهُمْ قَدْ ضَلُّوا. Like so Allah further explained by saying that وَرَأَوْا أَنَّهُمْ قَدْ ضَلُّوا. The manner they have worshipped the calf, they were heedless. But when they came to their sense, and then they realized, what have we done? Then وَرَأَوْا أَنَّهُمْ قَدْ ضَلُّوا. They have seen that they have been gone astray. So meaning that they came back to their sense and they regretted what they done. So Allah says سَكَتَ فِي أَيْدِيهِمْ. Okay, so that's one meaning, to regret. And the other meaning is to be incapable of doing something. So here the most sweetened meaning is we being incapable of doing anything. So fasukita fi aidina, bimana we were incapable of doing anything. وَخِفْنَا عَلَيْهِ الْغَرَقِ, and we feared drowning for him. We feared that he would drown. We had this fear in us that he is drowning. He is the one who will drown. وَكَانَ أَحَدُ أَقَارِبِنَا, and one of our relatives, qaribun is a relative, aqarib is a plural, مِمَّنْ يُحْسِنُونَ السِّبَاحَ, was among those who excel, or of those who were excellent in swimming. Ahsana yuhsinu. Ahsana, bimana, for someone to excel, to get ahead of any other person. Yuhsin. The noun is muhsin. Like Allah says, وَبِلْ وَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, and to your parents, be the best you can be to them. Okay? So, yani, muhsin is the one who excels, who gets ahead of any other person, who has done the best thing. I mean, so ahsana yuhsinu. So mimman yuhsinuna as-sibaha, he was among those who were excellent when it comes to swimming. Yagtasilu fi an-nahr, he was also bathing in the river. So fortunately there was this relative of them, one of their relative who was bathing in the river, and this person was someone who was very, very good in terms of swimming. فَقُلْنَا, so we said, دُونَكَ الْأُسْتَاذَ, we said to him, دُونَكَ الْأُسْتَاذ, bimana, when we say دُونَكَ, is among a particular group of asma. In Arabic language we call it asma'ul af'al. Ism fi'l. When we say ism fi'l, it is a noun that calls for action. Ism fi'lun. Ism, of course, is a noun, okay, but it calls for action. It acts as if it is a verb, so we call it ism fi'l. It is a noun which acts as if it's a verb. The matter, it calls for action. Example, if I say we say Amin at the end of the Fatiha when the Imam is reciting and he get to the end of the Fatiha. Okay, we say what? Amin. So when we say Amin, it's a noun. Amin is a noun, but it's an ism fi'l. We are not just saying Amin. We are saying that Allah, oh Allah, accept our prayers. It is calling for action. I hope that is clear. So you are this dunaka. Assuming you are giving a book to someone and you say, here is it. What are you expecting the person? You are expecting the person to stretch his hand and collect it. So it is not just a noun, but it's a noun that calls for action. So we call it ism fi'l. I hope that is clear. So we say dunaka. Here is it. Okay, something like that. Here is it. But it's not just saying, you are not just telling him this is it. You are telling the person to take it. You are commanding him to take. So it's a noun that calls for action. We call it asma'ul af'al. Yes. So dunaka al-ustaz. Bimana, take charge of the ustaz. Here is the ustaz. Okay, the ustaz is here for you, meaning that take charge of him. He also realized that something serious is going to happen. It's happening. Then فَتَقَدَّمَ إِلَيْهِ بِسُرْعَةٍ. فَتَقَدَّمَ إِلَيْهِ بِسُرْعَةٍ. He hastened towards him. He went ahead towards him in a haste. تَقَدَّمَ is to present, to go ahead. That's taqaddama, to go ahead. So taqaddama ilayhi, he went ahead towards him, bisur'a, with a haste, bimana, in a haste. So he realized something serious is happening. Is happening, bimana, he saw the man about to drown or drowning. So he hastened towards him. Walamma ra'a ash-shaykhu munjidan. Walamma ra'a ash-shaykhu munjidan. Now, when the sheikh saw a munjid, when we say munjid, a munjid means a rescuer. The verb here is anjada. Anjada yunjidu, which means to rescue. You are rescuing someone. So the one who is rescuing, the ism fa'il, is called the munjid, the one who is rescuing. But the verb is anjada yunjidu. Anjada, he rescued. Yunjidu, he is rescuing. So walamma ra'a ash-shaykhu munjidan. When Sheikh, the drowning person, saw a rescuer, okay, he has seen someone coming to rescue him. Tashajja'a, he gathered courage. When you say tashajja'a, he made an effort to be courageous. It comes on a pattern to mean that the thing is not there, but you are making an effort for it to be there. Okay, like sabara means he was patient. When I say tasabbara, meaning that he made an effort to be patient. Like you have seen someone who is very angry, but he's able to control himself. So that's tasabbara. He made an effort to be patient. It's not that the patience is there naturally. Okay, even though he's being patient, but he swallowed a lot of pain in him. So tashajja, he made an effort to be, he gathered courage, qalilan, a little bit, wa arada an yumsikahu, and he wanted to hold him, to hold the sheikh, the one who was coming to rescue him. He wanted to hold him. So let's see what is coming to happen in the next lesson, inshallah. We will have to pause here. We don't want the lesson to be extremely long. So this is a very, as I said, very, very interesting lesson. And of course, we are learning a lot of new words also. But as usual, we'll pause here and then we'll continue in the next lesson. We'll see whatever is coming to happen. Will the sheikh be able to rescue him, or will he die in the water? Let's see what will happen in the next lesson. Jazakum Allahu Khairan. وبارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن الحكيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.